Hey guys, let's talk about genetic diversity. And I'm not talking about any of the racist stuff or anything, but I'm talking about my ducks. So genetic diversity is an important thing on a farm, especially one that hatches birds, right? So what you don't want is for your birds to be related to each other, right? You can have things like crooked legs, cleft beaks, failure to thrive, where like the digestive tract or something inside just doesn't work right. I bring this up, genetic diversity, on my farm because, as some of you may know, I've got a crazy woman who's making all sorts of stupid claims because she knows nothing and just really wants to disparage me, which is fine, I guess, whatever. She's giving me ideas, so keep commenting there, crazy woman. God, I'm sorry. All right, so anyway, genetic diversity. How do I maintain genetic diversity on my farm? So one of the things that I do, I'll source say like a bunch of hatchery type females, which are most of my runner ducks. So ducks are female, and my drakes will come from local sources. Local sources being other people that have drakes that may exhibit the type of colorations I want. So like penciling or chocolate or fawn and white or blue or whatever. I'll source my drakes from local people. What that means is I get a good, I guess, local mixing of birds, because what they'll do is they'll cross with other birds and they'll get drakes and they'll be like, well, what do I do with all these drakes? So I take them and they go to, my excess drakes go to a man who manages a farm, grape farm, and dummy, my fence is on, manages a grape farm and uses runner ducks for pest control. So all of my runners, and of course they're all chickens that you see out there right now except for some geese, all of my runners are genetically diverse in that all of my drakes are different. All the ducks that I sell, I don't keep. Well, that's stupid, right? Okay, let's take a step back. All of the ducklings that I sell do not stay here. I don't keep any of my ducklings, save for a few. And that's fine. A few is fine, but I'm talking like maybe 2 or 3 that I want to keep coloration on. So when it comes to keeping your stock clean, any hatchlings that you have, you need to sell or get rid of, or not have here with the birds that are currently mating. And ducks mate all the time, so any ducks that I keep or whatever, they need to be genetically diverse. So the individual in question, this crazy woman, she said that I run the equivalent of a puppy mill in terms of ducks. It's just not true. She's saying this because she wants to make it seem like I'm a backyard breeder, and yeah, sure, this is the backyard when it comes to my house. It's a very shitty thing to say, and it's completely untrue. But what's great is she's giving me ideas so that I can teach you guys. She can make all the nasty comments she wants. It doesn't matter much to me at all, because factually she's incorrect, and she's just giving me evidence for future issues, or future resolve rather. So all of my birds, except for these Muscovy ducks here, are genetically diverse. All the males are not related to the females. When I say these Muscovies, I got all of them from a hatchery. And the problem with the Muscovies is if you can't maintain a good genetic diversity out of hundreds of birds, you're going to get failures, you're going to get problems, leg issues, beak issues, intestinal or inside organ issues, wing problems, stuff like that. And that's what I've seen on these Muscovies. I ordered 60 of them and I still have like 50 because you come out one day and one's like, I don't know, dead, just for no good reason. And it's not because you know, I'm feeding them wrong or anything like that. The feed that I feed them has everything they need: excess yeast, excess niacin or whatever. You can't overdose on niacin, so more niacin, more better. It has enough calcium. I've actually reduced the calcium down quite a bit to feed baby ducks. So if you overfeed calcium when they're young, you can have kidney problems and liver issues, and that'll kill your birds too. But excuse me, it's hot out here. It's so humid. It just rained, and it's just not great. But yeah, so all of my birds are genetically diverse, and I do that on purpose to provide a good, clean, healthy stock that people can rely on. You know, it's actually a significant reason that I don't breed pekins. Pekins are a meat bird, and they're meant for meat production. They're not meant for pets, but people keep them as pets. And often a year or two in, they start having issues with their legs and their hearts, and they, you know, they'll come out and find your, you know, pekin that's a year old dead because they had a heart attack. I don't do pekins. They're too unreliable, unstable. They're just not good birds. They're friendly, extremely friendly, but you need to pay attention to what you feed them, how you feed them, all that nonsense. And I just have no desire to do that, especially when I'm raising birds that are all eating the same thing. So if I'm feeding, you know, a certain type of feed, I don't want to have to get another type of feed in a ton at a time with, you know, low protein or, you know what I mean, any of that kind of stuff. It's a waste of time, and it causes me to have to spend more time handling these birds. So pekins, they're out. It just, yeah, so genetic diversity, super important. And I definitely 100% pay attention to what I'm doing in terms of mating, how I breed, and you know, what's coming out of the egg. Sometimes it can't be helped, but you do get a couple that may be genetically deformed or have issues with, say, when you hatch them, they may have a leg issue or a beak issue. And that's actually because, you know, that could be an egg that just didn't have enough nutrient in it. So that yolk is actually the nutrient that the baby uses to feed. And when they're growing or whatever, the zygote actually implants itself on the outside of that yolk, and the baby will grow on that outside of that yolk. Think of the yolk itself, and the baby sits on top of it. They don't grow in it, they sit on top of it, and that's what they attach to pull nutrient out of. And if that yolk doesn't have the right nutrients or minerals or any of that stuff, you can actually get a failure to thrive, or just a, you know, unhealthy bird. Completely normal, you can do everything right, and that mother just doesn't put enough nutrient into that egg. It happens. It's just one of them things that comes with hatching birds. Now, a lot of hatcheries don't want to tell you what's going on behind the scenes, and that's completely fine. I understand 100%, because everyone has an opinion. That opinion can be good, that opinion can be bad, but when you're running a business that is specifically meant to sell ducklings or chicks or goslings or whatever you want, letting people peek behind the scenes, not a good idea. But because, you know, I'm local, local to some people, because I'm not in a big building, I'm not, you know, I don't run a hatchery like that, and because I'm truthful, I'm a realist, I'm more than happy to tell you what goes on. I do believe that people ought to know where their food comes from, how it's produced, and really, you know, let people learn, right? The more informed someone is, the less of an asshole they are. Sometimes. But anyway, you can't stop people from being an asshole. It just is what it is. But anyway, so yeah, genetic diversity, very important. Something that I take very seriously. Not a backyard breeder. I don't just put things together and hatch what comes out. I pay specific attention to what I do, and you know, it is what it is. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you later, and have fun. Learn some stuff today. See ya.